everyone, it's Lacey Skulls from VH1's Rock of Love, and this is Talk of Love, the new podcast. This isn't just reality, this is real life. I actually think one of the most important things to talk about, because it wasn't made clear in the way that they edited it, I think all of the girls had an issue with this episode, was when the super fans came. I mean, first of all, nobody knows who those girls were. I don't think that they were really super fans because I've never heard of them before or after. And I've asked people, like, who the hell were those girls? No one seems to know. And you and I were talking about this on the phone the other night, and we were both sort of guessing that maybe they were actors.
Yeah, they had to be actors. They were such assholes. Like, no, I mean, they were so good at being bitches. Like,
that was brutal.
And I think that we had all been there for a very lengthy amount of time. I think I was like PMSing majorly. And I honestly think when we were doing that challenge, the interrogation room challenge, I know this is like crazy to say, but the things they knew, like no one could have known those things about me in my life. And I really feel like they had our psych chart or like our psychological evaluation in front of them.
They did, because I had the same experience. And just for you guys who are watching this, just so you know, there was a series of tests that we had to go through. I mean, of course, they made sure that we had no criminal history. We have no STD, you fucking assholes. We got fucked with so much going, all those girls have STDs. Believe it or not, we all had to take STD tests and blood tests in the whole 9 yards to prove we didn't have STDs. Yeah. So, I mean, trust me, all of my STDs I got after the show. I didn't have any at the time of the show. I got all mine after. So anyway, yes, no STDs. And then we also had to do a psych evaluation. So, there was a lot of really personal stuff they put in there. And I've talked to you guys about this before. And Sam, this might be the first time you're really hearing me talk about this. I'm a really, really private person. I have this, hard exterior, but I really save like my personal stuff just for my close friends and family. I am really, really uncomfortable with vulnerability. Also, just only a few years before Rock of Love was filmed, I lost my mom to suicide. I really struggled for years with that. I had never been on antidepressants before that happened. And then when that happened, I struggled so severely with that loss, and I ended up going to therapy and doing all kinds of stuff. One of the things I tried was going on antidepressants. And so in the psych evaluation, I didn't really want to divulge that. And I certainly didn't want that to be like on the show. But I was honest on the psych evaluation about everything. And so then when we did these super fans, one of the things they asked me specifically was, because I had this like whole crazy Lacey persona, they asked me if I was on antidepressants. But no, actually, they didn't even say that. They said, are you on medication? They didn't even say antidepressants. They said, are you on medication? Are you on meds? And I remember in the moment going like, oh shit. I really don't want to talk about this on national TV. Can I lie? I don't know, but I don't want to be caught in a lie either. So I remember I didn't know what to do. And I kind of panicked and I was like, yes, but it's because, I went into the stuff with my mom. But when they edited it, they cut the part of me explaining that why I was on medication. So you watch it back, it's like, crazy Lacey, are you on meds? Yeah. And that was it. I was like, those motherfuckers. Like, that was a low way to edit. And as you said, the only way they could know that is if they had our psych evaluations, which is really fucking shady that they would share that shit that I thought was going to be kept private. I thought that was only being asked to know if we would be psychologically sound enough to go on the show. So tell everybody about your experience, because you have kind of a similar thing, right?
Yeah, well, same thing. Like, you think they're giving us the psych evaluations just to make sure that we're, sturdy enough to be on a reality show in the first place. So it's like, we think it's a safety precaution, right? But then once I got in that room, they were asking me all kinds of questions that nobody could have known. Like, tell us, are you on medication? They asked, why are you on medication? Did your father cheat on your mother? Do you think that's your fault? Like, it was insane. Why do you have trust issues? tell us about all the relationships you've been in. Why don't you trust anyone? Were you abused? Like crazy, crazy things. And it's like the fact that they brought that up in that moment and only filmed our reactions is just so manipulative and just completely wrong.
So the other thing I was going to ask you is, did you feel like you had any true connection, A, with Brett, and B, did you feel like you had any real friendship connections with the girls?
Okay, so here's the thing with Brett. He's so sweet. Like, he's the sweetest. I mean, sometimes it seemed like when he was talking, he wasn't listening. And it seemed like he was actually thinking about the next thing he was going to say when you were done with your answer. So it was kind of like he was often vacant and kind of in his own world, but he was really sweet and he was really caring.
I feel like that just happened because he was in such an overwhelming, unnatural, designed environment, My husband and I actually were just having a conversation about Brett before you came on, and he is really, really sweet. And we actually felt like outside of the show, he was very warm and really like into what you're saying and that sort of thing. But I felt like it was overwhelming for him too, like especially when the girls were fighting and that sort of thing. It was a lot, so, and he probably just wanted to make sure that he didn't like accidentally say some like shitty thing or something like that. But, I personally didn't have a romantic connection with him, but I did like him as a person a lot. I'm not sure that many girls really did. I would say maybe Heather did. Really felt that connection. And I guess maybe Jess did. I think there was a couple of girls that really felt real feelings for him. But would you say that you really felt more like on a friendship level with him?
I felt like, there was so many things that I felt. I felt that the dynamic of the show was made as kind of like a game show. So you're thrown into this house, you can't leave, you're with however many other women who are all pining for the same gentleman.
That's a good way to put it. It was like a game show. That's a really good way to put it. Because that's not how people normally date. That 20 stranger girls don't live together in a house for a month. I mean, it was a very, I always remind people like this was not a documentary. This was a reality show. There was a lot of elements to it that were real, of course, but it was an artificial environment,
So you're thrown into this thing and like your goal is to win. Your goal is to make this person fall in love with you. Or whatever, you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to be yourself. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be honest. You're going to be fun. You're going to be exciting. You're going to show all your sides and, be intellectual and like whatever it is that you have that like magical spark of, you're going to show that to this person so they can, reiterate those feelings and kind of you can create a bond. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to create a bond and I was like, whatever, I'm here. I might as well try to win until I started noticing all like the other stuff that was going on that I wasn't cool with. And I think a lot of people focused on how emotional I was and my trust issues, right? So that was a big issue. But here's the thing, like, if I have a boyfriend, I want him to be my boyfriend. Like, I want us to be mutually exclusive. And my bad for going on a show and not realizing that it was going to be completely opposite. Right. So, I mean, yeah, I should have known, but I didn't think it was going to be that debaucherous. Like, I had no idea. No idea.
I totally get it. And you're not wrong. I mean, yeah, how can you possibly have feelings for somebody that you're watching making out with all these different people? I mean, honestly, if you fell for a guy that really was like making out with all these girls in front of you, you would be like a crazy person, So I totally get it from that perspective. But yeah, he is, I mean, nobody has a bad thing to say about him from the perspective of like, he's a really great person. But clearly it was designed to be a television show, not let's find Brett a girlfriend show. But just unfortunately, so many of the girls just didn't know what was going on. We didn't know up from down. It was, it was a whirlwind.